Do you know what it feels like when a single choice changes your entire life? That's what happened to me the day I found the map. It was a rainy morning. I had just finished baking my favorite honey croissants when a small, damp envelope slid under my cafe door. No name, no address, just one word on the front, find. Inside was an old map, the kind that looked like it had survived 100 storms. There was an X drawn right on the spot where the Whispering Woods stood. Everyone in Miaolin said those woods were haunted. No one who went in ever came back the same. But I couldn't resist. I packed my satchel with spices, a flashlight, and my lucky spoon, then called Max. Adventure. I asked. Trouble. He replied. Both. I grinned. The woods were silent, like they were holding their breath. Branches creaked like whispers. The path twisted in ways that didn't feel natural, as if the forest was watching us. And then we found it. An ancient door carved into a tree trunk, covered in moss. It had a lock shaped like a fork and spoon crossed together. I pressed my spoon against it and it clicked. The door swung open, revealing a hidden kitchen glowing with golden fireflies. The air smelled like cinnamon and old secrets. And on the counter, there was a single book. Its cover read, The Recipes of the Forgotten. When I opened it, I realized these weren't normal recipes. Each dish unlocked something. A memory, a dream, a fear. The first page whispered, Cook this, and you will see your true enemy. I didn't know what that meant. But the ingredients, they weren't normal either. Moon sugar, phoenix pepper, tears of laughter. We started cooking. The pot glowed, the flames turned blue, and suddenly, the kitchen wasn't just a kitchen anymore. The walls melted into visions. And there, standing in front of me, was someone I never thought I'd see again. It was her, Luna. The last time I saw Luna, she vanished into the storms beyond Miaolin. We all thought she was gone forever. But here she stood, inside the vision, wearing a cloak of starlight. Her eyes, they weren't the same. They glowed like molten gold. Chef Paws, she said softly. You shouldn't have opened the book. I froze. Luna. What? What happened to you? She didn't answer. She just pointed at the pot. The forgotten recipes don't just feed the body, she said. They feed the truth. And the truth can burn you alive. The vision shattered like glass. Max grabbed my arm. Chef, your whisk is glowing. I looked down. The whisk in my paw shimmered, as if alive, humming like a tuning fork. The book flipped to the next page on its own. The Trial of Tastes. Beneath it, a single sentence. Only those who conquer fear can serve this dish. And suddenly, the kitchen wasn't safe anymore. Shadows crept across the counters. The fireflies turned black. The shelves shook. We had to find the next ingredients fast. Max pointed to the corner. There was a small wooden door. With a strange carving on it, a fork stabbed into a heart. Through there, he whispered. We opened it and stepped into a maze of spice corridors. The jars whispered our names as we passed. One jar laughed. Another cried. Then, something moved in the shadows. A shape, big and slow, blocking the path. Its eyes gleamed red, and it carried a giant ladle. It wasn't just a guard. It was a creature made of burned bread and oil. A bread golem. Max squeaked. Tell me you brought extra butter. The bread golem roared, and crumbs rained down like burning ash. It slammed its ladle into the ground, sending waves of stale crusts flying toward us. Run! I shouted, grabbing Max by the tail. We sprinted down the spice corridor, jars toppling around us. Cinnamon clouds filled the air, and every breath felt like inhaling fire and sugar. The golem lumbered after us, each step shaking the floor. But I noticed something. The heat from the kitchen flames seemed to slow it down. Max! I yelled. The butter, throw it. Max fumbled in his bag, pulled out a stick of golden butter, and hurled it with all his strength. The butter hit the golem's chest, sizzling on contact. The creature froze for a moment, steaming, and I had an idea. I grabbed my whisk still glowing from the recipes. Magic, and ran toward the golem. One leap, one swirl of the whisk, and I spread the butter like glaze across its cracked crust body. The golem let out a sigh and collapsed. crumbling into a pile of toasted breadcrumbs. Max blinked. Did you just baste a monster? Never underestimate the power of good butter, I said, smirking. With the golem gone, the corridor opened into a new chamber. The walls were lined with mirrors, and in the center sat a single jar labeled, Tears of Laughter. But when I reached for it, my reflection didn't follow me. Instead, it smiled a dark, eerie grin and stepped out of the mirror. My reflection spoke. Chef Paws, you're not ready. You cook for others, but never for yourself. Do you even know your own taste? Before I could answer, it lunged. We clashed me with my whisk, it with a blade made of silver frosting. The room filled with sparks as metal and sugar collided. Finally, I feinted left, then spun right, sprinkling salt into its eyes. The reflection hissed, stumbled, and shattered into 1,000 glass shards. The jar of tears of laughter dropped into my paws. One ingredient down. But the recipe whispered. 2 more trials await. The floor beneath us shifted, and we tumbled through a hidden chute, landing in a cavern of glowing sugar crystals. The air tasted sweet, but heavy like caramelized danger. Max rubbed his head. Where are we now? Some kind of candy dungeon. I scanned the room. 3 glowing paths stretched ahead, each marked by a symbol, a flame, a drop of water, and a swirl of wind. The recipe book, still floating beside me, flipped open and whispered, Choose your element or be consumed. I hesitated. Fire cooks, I muttered. But water transforms. Max pointed to the swirl of wind. What about that one? It looks like whipped cream. Suddenly, a voice echoed. You may choose only once, Chef Paws. I clenched my whisk. Fire, I said, and the path lit up like a stove flame. We walked forward, and the temperature rose with every step. The candy crystals began to melt, dripping like lava. At the end of the path stood a giant cauldron boiling with golden syrup. The voice spoke again. To earn the phoenix pepper, you must endure the heat of creation. A massive bird, made entirely of molten sugar and flames, rose from the cauldron. Its eyes burned like twin ovens. Max squeaked. Please tell me you have a plan. Not yet, I said. But I have instincts. The phoenix swooped, wings slicing through the air like caramel knives. I dodged, feeling the heat scorch my whiskers. Then I spotted something the fire dimmed when the syrup splashed on its wings. Max, get the ladle. He scrambled, grabbed the ladle, and swung it like a baseball bat, splashing syrup at the bird. The phoenix shrieked and faltered. I leapt onto the rim of the cauldron, whisk spinning like a propeller. One swift swirl, and I plunged the whisk into the syrup, creating a spiral that trapped the bird midair. The flames faded, and in its place, a single phoenix pepper rested in the cauldron. I grabbed it, my paws tingling from the heat. 2 ingredients down, I said, but 1 more trial to go. The ground trembled again, and we were pulled into darkness. We landed with a thud on a stone floor. The air here was colder, heavy with the scent of iron and dust. Torches flickered on the walls, casting long, jagged shadows. Max shivered. This place feels wrong, he whispered. In front of us was a long hallway leading to a black iron door, and carved into that door were the words, To taste truth, you must face your own hunger. The recipe book hovered beside me, flipping pages. A single line appeared in glowing ink. Final ingredient, the heart fruit. I frowned. What is heart fruit? A voice answered from the darkness. Something you don't deserve. We both froze. From the shadows, a tall figure stepped forward. It was me, but older, harder, scarred. His chef coat was black as midnight. I am who you become, the dark version said, his voice like a blade. The one who cooks not for love, but for power. Max squeaked, Oh no, not another evil twin. The dark me smirked. Do you think your kindness will survive the world? You'll learn. You'll break. And you'll cook for control, just like I do. I raised my whisk. Not today. The battle began. We clashed whisk against whisk, sparks flying like tiny fireworks. He moved like me, thought like me, but there was no warmth, only precision and cruelty. Every strike I blocked left my paws numb. Then I remembered Luna's words from the vision. The truth can burn you alive. I stopped fighting. I lowered my whisk. Darkme lunged, but I caught his arm, steady and calm. No, I won't fight you. I accept you. He froze. What? You're my fear, my doubt, my hunger for recognition. But I don't need to destroy you to win. I just need to cook with honesty. The Darkme's eyes softened. Then, he dissolved into golden dust. The iron door creaked open. Inside, resting on a silver pedestal, was the heart fruit glowing with soft light. I picked it up, feeling its warmth pulse in my paw. All ingredients complete, I whispered. But I have no idea what happens when we cook this. The chamber behind the iron door opened into a vast hall filled with floating lanterns. At the center stood a kitchen table made of obsidian, its surface reflecting every flame like liquid night. The recipe book floated onto the table and slammed shut. When it reopened, the final page glowed with golden letters. Cook the 3 truths, or lose yourself forever. Max gulped. That sounds final. I placed the heart fruit on the table. Its glow pulsed like a heartbeat. The phoenix pepper and the tears of laughter floated beside it, levitating gently as if guided by unseen hands. The kitchen lit itself. Knives, bowls, and whisk started moving on their own. The ingredients melted together, releasing a scent so powerful it felt like breathing in memory sweet, bitter, warm, and sharp all at once. Then the voices began. Soft at first. Whispers of people I'd cooked for. Thank you. Please. Come back. Don't leave me. They surrounded me like ghosts. I closed my eyes. This dish isn't for power, I whispered. It's for healing. The whisk glowed in my paw. I stirred once, twice, and the entire room transformed. I wasn't in the hall anymore. I was back in my childhood kitchen. I saw my first oven. My mother's smile. The time I burned my first pie and swore I'd never bake again. Max's voice cut through the vision. Chef, don't get lost in it. I snapped back, my paws trembling. The dish was complete. A single bowl of glowing stew sat in front of me. Its surface shimmered like a mirror. But when I looked inside, I didn't see my reflection. I saw Luna. She stood there, smiling softly, as if waiting for me to understand something. Luna's image rippled in the glowing stew. She looked older, wiser, but her eyes were warm like she had been waiting for this moment all along. Chef Paws, she said softly, you've always believed that cooking was about flavor. But true cooking, it's about memory. I reached out, my paw trembling, but my touch passed through the surface like mist. Luna, where have you been all this time? In the forgotten kitchen, she whispered, guarding the recipes, waiting for someone who could finish what I couldn't. My heart clenched. You disappeared because of this book, didn't you? She nodded. I opened it once, but I was too afraid to face the truth it revealed. I became trapped in its magic, watching as time passed. You, chef, are the first to complete all 3 trials. Max stepped closer to the bowl, ears twitching. Wait, so, is she like, inside the soup? Or is this some kind of magical cooking show? Luna chuckled softly. Max, you've always been the funny one. No, I'm part of the recipe now, my essence bound to it. But Chef Paws, if you take the final bite, you can free me, or lose yourself. I hesitated. What do you mean, lose myself? The dish holds all your memories, all your truths. If your heart isn't ready, the magic will swallow you whole. You'll forget who you are. Max's eyes widened. Okay, I vote we don't eat the mystical soul soup. But deep down, I knew I had to. I had come this far. I couldn't let fear stop me now. I took a spoonful. The liquid shimmered, glowing like molten sunlight. The scent wrapped around me, pulling me in. And suddenly, I was falling. Max's jaw dropped. Wait, Luna. As in the Luna we thought got zapped into another dimension? You're real. She laughed, the sound like a warm chime. I'm real, maximum. And I owe you both my life. Chef Paws, you didn't just finish the recipe, you freed me from its magic. I looked at the empty recipe book. Its pages were clean, as if the trials had never existed. But when I touched it, a single line appeared, shimmering in gold. The final dish is not what you cook. It is who you become. Luna glanced around the kitchen. This place. It's different now. It's no longer cursed. The recipes here can heal, inspire, bring people together, but only if used with the right heart. Max tilted his head. Okay, but can we talk about the fact that Chef just cooked reality itself? I mean, come on, that's insane. Luna smiled. You have a gift, Chef. More than you know. But the recipe book doesn't just choose anyone. It chose you for a reason. There's something coming. Something bigger than any feast. I blinked. What do you mean? Before she could answer, the torches flickered. A deep, rumbling sound shook the ground beneath our paws. The walls of the kitchen trembled. Max squeaked. Chef? Please tell me that's just the oven making weird noises. Luna's face turned serious. No, that's not the kitchen. It's him. Who's him? I asked. The Gourmet King, she said quietly. The one who created these recipes. And he knows we've unlocked the final dish. He will come for the heart fruit. The room went silent. Even the fireflies froze mid-air. Max gulped. Okay. I'm gonna vote no on meeting a guy named the Gourmet King. Sounds like trouble. I tightened my grip on the whisk. Then we'll be ready. Whatever this king wants, he's not taking it without a fight. The ground cracked open beneath our feet, and a wave of heat rushed through the kitchen. Then, from the shadows, he appeared. The Gourmet King. He was nothing like I expected. Tall, cloaked in a robe stitched with golden forks and knives. His face hidden beneath a porcelain mask. But the most unsettling thing was the crown. It wasn't made of jewels, but of burning spices that smoked and hissed with every step. Chef Paws. His voice boomed like rolling thunder. You dare complete my recipe without my blessing? Max hid behind me. Chef, that guy is like the final boss of all cooking shows. Please tell me you have a plan. I tightened my grip on the whisk. I didn't cook this to steal your glory. I cooked it to free Luna. And I'm not giving the heart fruit to you. The king tilted his head slowly, as if amused. Free her? Do you think she wanted freedom? She was my greatest creation, my apprentice. And you. He pointed at me with a forked scepter. You ruined everything. Luna stepped forward. No. I was your prisoner. King. Your obsession with perfection destroyed the joy of cooking. Chef Paws reminded me what food is meant to be. The king's eyes glowed behind the mask. Then you will all be seasoned. With fire. With a wave of his hand, the kitchen erupted. Flames coiled like serpents, and the walls turned into slabs of burning bread. The battle began. I dashed forward, spinning my whisk like a blade. The king struck with his scepter, sending waves of peppery heat that burned the air. Max darted around, tossing jars of salt and flour at him, which only made him angrier. Luna shouted, Chef, the heart fruit. It's the only thing that can stop him. I pulled it from my pouch. The glowing fruit pulsed like a tiny heart, warm and alive. But I hesitated. If I used it, I might destroy the recipe forever. The king lunged. Give it to me. At the last second, I bit into the heart fruit. A burst of flavor, sweet, fiery, electric, exploded in my mouth. The world froze. Time stopped. The flames hovered mid-air. The king stood still, his mask cracking slightly as if confused. I felt a surge of power rush through me, not just strength, but clarity. I stepped forward. This ends now. With a single swing of my whisk, I released the energy of the heart fruit. The flames dissolved, the spices fell silent, and the king stumbled backward. His mask shattered, revealing a tired, broken face. You remembered why food matters, he whispered. And I forgot. He dropped his scepter, which melted into dust. Then he faded, like smoke in the wind. The kitchen returned to normal, calm and warm. Max blinked. Did we just win? Like, actually win? Luna smiled, tears in her eyes. Yes. The curse is broken. The recipe book floated into my paws. its pages glowing one last time before vanishing in a swirl of golden light. I looked around at my friends Luna, alive and free, and Max, covered in flour but grinning. For the first time, the kitchen didn't feel like a battlefield. It felt like home. "Let's go cook something normal," I said. "Like pancakes?" Max asked hopefully. "Yeah," I laughed. "But this time, no magical ingredients.